A client of ours went from selling sessions for 35 euros an hour to making €1,000,000 in 9 months. Today, I want to talk to you about what it takes to make 30,000 euros as a coach in the market of 2026. So what I want to talk about is a few different things that allows us to grow a coaching business to earn 30,000 euros per month as an online coach in today's market, 2026. If you are anything about caring about people, making a bigger difference while designing the lifestyle that you desire, then this video is the perfect video for you to spend about 10 minutes watching. So let's dive straight into it. In order for us to be able to earn 30,000 euros per month as a coach, there are a few different levers that we need to look at. And I would like to paint them out and make them stupid simple. We're going to call them the big three, okay? The first one that we need to have a little bit of a conversation about is your price. Because when we are normally pricing coaching, most of us are looking at a price, either selling sessions or looking at our own self-worth or believing what can I charge and what am I comfortable with. And I want to break this down first of all. In order for us to start having this conversation, we need to look at the price point from the perspective of the value, and not the perceived value, but the actual value for the client going through this journey. Meaning, number one, we sell results. We do not sell sessions. We do not sell individual meetings. We do not sell 10 sessions in a bundle. If you buy 10, you get 2 free. We don't do that. And the reason why is because numbers of sessions isn't a driving factor. It isn't leverage in closing a client. We sell results and we sell a time period that we have designed for a person to go from a specific place to a desired place within a time frame. So we sell results rather than anything else. Now, the second thing that we do is that we are looking to create raving fans. How do we create raving fans? We create raving fans by selling expectations and then over-delivering on those expectations, meaning that they have an expectation to get this, and when they actually go through the process, they get something that is even more, which is going to over-deliver, and they are going to become raving fans. The third thing that we are going to get out of that is referrals. Referrals is a very nice thing to have. The conversation that we're about to have today is not going to be about referrals, though. It's going to be about the controlling factor that allows us to grow our coaching business online to 30,000 euros per month. And when we're looking at price, we say that anything below 1,000 euros is marketing, meaning that anything that you sell that is below 1,000 euros is meant for marketing. If you are currently making less than 20,000 euros per month, you shouldn't bother about charging for your marketing because you don't have to. It isn't the biggest leverage. Then looking at the price, we want to differentiate two different things. So if we make a little bow like that, we can see that we have two different areas. So there are two different normal products that we sell. We either sell, it could be 3 months, it could be 2, it could be 4, it could even be 6 if you like. But as a frame, 3 months is kind of a perfect time period. It's 90 days. It's very, very easy to make a big difference within. And we usually look at that and we want to charge between 2 and 3K. For those 3 months. Now, if you are not in a place where you feel that, hey, I can't sell something between 2,000 and 3,000 euros, well, then you can start understanding that when you sell results that are of importance to people, you can grow into becoming a coach that can sell a coaching program between 2,000 and 3,000 euros. I also recognize that the financial situation in different countries in Europe, it differs a little bit, but no matter what we do, you are going to be able to create a program or a process that helps people that you can charge 2,000 to 3,000 euros for. And it's going to be worth it every time for your clients. The reason why it's going to be worth it every time for the clients is because we sell results. We need to focus on the outcome. If you're just a coach that works with people in the traditional way of asking good quality questions for the clients to figure out the answer, I would say that pivot a little bit and focus more of a specific outcome and help your clients get there. We specifically help coaches grow coaching businesses. We do not help any other businesses because it allows us to become very, very hyper specific on how can we help a coach to create the best opportunity for themselves to grow as fast as possible. If we were to allow every kind of business in, then we would have to create different frameworks, different templates, and different examples depending on the industry that our client would be in. We want to avoid that. We want to have fun, and we want to make sure that we are doing something that is, for us, close at heart. And the reason why we have chosen to work with coaches is because most coaches care. And me and my partner, Sani, we both care about the people who cares for others, and we want to make a great impact. So the first step that we want to have is that we want to have this program that we can charge between 2 and 3K for. Now, the second step for us is to realize that once we have done enough with a client within the price segment of 2,000 to 3,000 euros, we can expand that and look beyond. So for us, as an example, we help coaches to get their businesses launched and started, helping them earn between 5,000 and 10,000 euros per month. And then from that step, we are having a different program that helps people to go from between 5,000 and 10,000 euros to 84,000 euros. In 3 years. 84,000 euros per month equals to 1 million euros a year. That's why. And if we can figure out a continuation, what's a natural next step after my first program? Then we can figure out how we can work with them for longer. And when we work with them for longer, it's much easier for us to charge somewhere in between 15 to 25, maybe even more than 25,000 euros for between 6 to 12 months of work. So we're working with them for 6 to 12 months with a hyper-specific outcome that we are working together to help them get. As long as we have done that journey ourselves, there is no problem in terms of us being able to guide others doing the same thing. The first leverage is we need to have a business that we can scale, that we can leverage, prices that actually helps us to build the kind of business that we want to have. So the first thing we need to talk about is price. If you have a problem seeing how you could do this, then please join one of our workshops and get that figured out, because we always map that out. It's completely free of charge, might be like 10, 15 euros, depending on when you watch this, but it's a very, very low cost. Price is the first thing. The second thing that we need to create is it's something that we like to call as leverage. We need to create something that allows us to have leverage of what it is that we are doing. Now, the first obvious thing that we want to use in terms to create leverage, then the first thing that we want to create and focus on is client wins. We need to make sure that the clients that we have are winning. We need to create client success, and we need to measure that success, and we need to be able to track that success. Because if we aren't able to produce actual tangible results for our clients, then it isn't going to grow much further than that. And the moment we start to track it, that's when we're going to figure out how to make sure that we're helping them all the way, doing all the things that leads to the desired outcome. So we need to focus on client wins. The reason why it creates the leverage that we need is because then we can start focusing on something that's called customer lifetime value, CLV. Customer lifetime value is a really cool thing, because if someone starts by buying the program of you for between 2,000 and 3,000 euros, and then if they spend 3 months with you and they love the work that you've been doing and you're able to present the next step for them, you can upsell them into the next program, where you can charge them a little bit more for a better and heavier process. Now, the reason why this upsell works is because they already trust you, because you help them win in the first program, they've gotten to know your personality, and they also know your expertise, meaning that it's easier for them to make a decision to spend more time with you. We usually sell a program like this, divided into monthly payments, meaning that it's between 1,500 euros a month to 2,000 euros a month is pretty usual. And then the math becomes really, really simple. My job is to create 15 clients that pays me 2,000 euros a month every month. And then I know that I'm on 30,000 euros consistently just from selling this one thing. Now, we could also make sure that we take into account that your people are spending money down here as well. That's where customer lifetime value is a very important metric. How do we figure customer lifetime value? We are figuring out by how many of the people buying the first thing are also buying the second thing. So if you sell your coaching to 10 people and 10 people pays you 2,000 euros, then you're going to earn 20,000 euros. But let's say that you have 20% of the people that buys also buys your next level program. And let's say that that is 20,000 euros. Let's calculate it and put a number to it. Let's make an example out of it. So let's call this program number 1, and let's call this program number 2. Okay? And let's not hype the numbers. Let's not make crazy numbers out of it. But if we then go to another blank page, 10 clients buying your first program 1, meaning that they all spent, let's say, 2,000 euros working with you. That would make you, out of all the 10 clients, 20,000 euros. So far, nothing awkward about it. 10 people paying you 2K per person equals 20,000 euros. Then we have, like we talked about before, program number 2. Let's just assume that we have 20% of the people that buys program number 1 also buys program number 2. And they spend another, and let's not go bananas, we don't even need to go to 15,000 euros for now. Let's just say that we go to 10,000 euros. So let's say that they spend another 10,000 euros buying program number 2. In this case, 20% out of 10 would equal to 2 people. So 2 people are spending another 10,000 euros each. So that's times 2. That would equal another 20,000 euros. Meaning that you are selling a program for 2K. That's what they buy. All of the 10 that first came to you, sell it for 2,000 euros. But the sum of everything that you earn, if we're taking both of them into account, is that you get 10 clients, all of them spend together 40,000 euros. Divided with the 10 people who initially bought, then we get the number 4,000 euros in customer lifetime value. Meaning that if you realize that you can sell something upfront that is a little bit cheaper, might think that 2,000 euros is not cheap. It is. In the coaching industry, me working with more than 6,000 coaches by now, 2,000 euros is cheap. And if you want to make 30,000 euros a month in your coaching business, the result is what you need to focus on. So if we go back to this, we have one more leverage to use. And that leverage, you need a conversion system that allows you to get clients either weekly or monthly. Now, monthly is usually because we're leveraging events, and the events are taken care of, which means that we are very sales heavy during a short period of time during the month, but it's also collecting everything you need during the month. Or we do it without an event. Event is preferable if you have a lot of leads and you want to sell one-to-many, work with one-to-many. The other option is to do a much simpler strategy that is connect with people, talk to them, book them in on a call, sell to them. Now, how we do that specifically is going to be for another tutorial, or you can find a ton of resources in our podcast to figure out how to do that. But the most important thing is that we need a conversion system that allows us to do this in a simple way. Now, simplicity is one of the most, if we tidy this up, put that in the middle, and then we make another arch, and let's make that yellow. We can see that there are 2 things that we want to do in order to create this. The first thing being that we need to make it simple. Simple is the number one thing, the most important thing to focus on, because complexity fails. It's just as simple as that. If you're trying to do what you see that the big names out there are doing, you are going to fail. The thing that you do to make the first 10,000 euros isn't the same thing that you're going to do to make the next 30,000 euros, and so on. You're always going to need to update your strategy with simplicity. And when you're getting to that 30,000 euro mark, you are going to start looking at systems, but it's not in need of systems. If you created this scenario, then the only thing for you to figure out is how for you to make between 7 to 8 clients per month, which is divided into the 4 weeks we have each month, 2 clients a week. If you could create 2 clients per week, then mathematically you're going to make 30,000 euros per month as soon as the business catches up because of consistency. So what I want to help you realize is that we need to keep it simple, and we need to make sure that we are focusing on quality before quantity. You do not need 100 leads in a bundle. You need 5 or 6 people that show interest, and out of those 5 and 6 people that show interest, you might be able to book one conversation with a qualified person that is actually interested in taking the next step with you. So we're not talking about a huge quantity of people. We're talking about quality, where you are invested in helping and serving this person before they buy, so that you give them a reason to buy. So simplicity comes first. Quality over quantity. We do not need thousands of people. We just don't. We need quality conversations focusing on real relationships. The second thing that we need is to focus on just that. We need to focus on the relationships. So if we can have a price point that helps us earn enough, we have leverage that allows us to get great client results so that we can upsell them and help them even further. And then we have a conversion system that allows us to, in program number 1, we're not going to go out, go bananas and sell the big thing. We're just going to sell our first kind of step. And the second step, you have time to develop that as well, meaning that you don't need to rush this. You start with a simple foundation, a simple conversion system. It could be through events or it could be through phone calls. Both of them works very well. You do not need to spend money on ads. You can do this completely organically through social media. And you can focus on simplicity, and you can focus on relationships. And you'll be able to make those 30,000 euros per month with ease. The last thing that I want to say is that anything that stands in between you and that result is the way that you approach your business, the way that you are looking at your business. And like I said before, if you want a free invite to one of our events, then please check the link below that is attached to this video and hang out with us, and we'll work with you completely for free. Or you could download our Millionaire Multiplier method that allows you to get a training on discovering how you could use your business as a leverage to create the business that you desire, to be able to live the life that you would like to have, all while helping people and doing a great service. So if you've loved this episode, make sure that you like and subscribe, and stay with us for a new tutorial every Monday. See you then. Bye.